Session. Okay. So last class, what we saw, last class we did a freestyle job and we set up the PollSCM, right? To
PollSCM.
to periodically pull the repository, and if it found any changes into the repository, it will then build within 1 minute of time. Okay.
We gave
So
for 1 minute.
yeah. So what we did, we did that setup, and we are about to set up the delivery part. Okay, so for delivery part we need a staging server or the testing server to do the delivery of the project
Hmm.
application to that server. So I have already so last class actually I did set of a server which is Linux machine.
Ubuntu server with Tomcat
Yeah,
actually.
so now I got the Amazon Linux 2 actually that corrected that one. Okay,
Hmm.
so it is running fine now.
Hmm.
So let me just log into this server. Anyway, this server has the Tomcat server installed. Okay. So if I just go here and okay, means the Tomcat server is not running. Let me just log into the terminal and
Ranjit, please share your screen also once you are
oh
ready.
yeah, I forgot actually. Okay, let me see.
Uh, and Ranjit, one more thing actually. Yesterday I was thinking whether that is correct or not. You can tell.
Yeah,
Actually, that Gopinath, no, he got
yeah,
means actually, okay, is it possible to pull him for let for 10 minutes in our weekend calls so that he can give actually some like this is the way they're asking this part like that, no?
yeah, yeah,
So
definitely.
because he's a
Yeah, yeah, we can he
maybe
can
that will be helpful for us also.
yes, yes, sure, sure. Anyway, what are the
Hmm.
questions actually we'll discuss actually the real-time questions because recently I had changed my company, right? So I what the level of questions they're asking, okay, for a DevOps engineer.
Hmm.
Also, yeah, it will be good. We'll pull Gopinath also.
Yeah, because he was part of our group, no? So the, when he joined in between, so he knows also. We also know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just ask him if he's available. No? So pull him
No,
for
no,
10 minutes.
he'll be love to join and share his
Uh-huh.
experience. No worries.
Okay, okay. That's how it happened, which part they covered, like that. No? So we can, yeah. Okay, Rajan, please go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so last class actually I had installed the Tomcat server. Okay, I had downloaded and I had just installed the Tomcat server in this directory. And let me just start the server. If I go here, okay, let me go to the bin directory, and here I need to start the server. Okay, startup.sh. So if you can see here, the Tomcat server is started. Okay, if I just go here and refresh it, it will give you me the application which is running. Okay, so the Tomcat server is now running, but we have not installed or deployed our application. So this is the Tomcat server which is running on this server, and we are going to deliver our applications to that particular folder. Okay, so in Tomcat actually the applications are getting placed. If you have already worked in Tomcats, you should know that this
Yes.
web apps folder. Okay, in this web apps folder you have to only simply place your war file. Once you place your war file, Tomcat will automatically unzip that or untar that. Okay, then it will just deploy your applications for you automatically. You don't have to do it. You have to simply copy that war file into this web apps folder. Okay, so yesterday actually I was testing that Tomcat server is running or not, so that I had put one applications that war file. Okay, this war file I had put it. As soon as I put this war file, what it did, it automatically um, extracted this war file and created a project called this DevOps web. Okay, so let me delete this so that I can show you the fresh through the automated process from the Jenkins. Okay, So as this is a file, I can delete using, I can delete this folder as well, because this is the application folder. Okay. Uh, Now, if let me show you how it looks like. The project will be, if I do, the project is okay. It's not running. Okay. Let me just delete this folder and we'll do. Okay, done. So we deleted this project. Now, what I'm going to do, if I just delete, that means this there is no project called DevOps web app. Okay, so it is not running. Now, let's start and do the setups in the Jenkins job. So what is our job name? The job name was MB Java project. So I'm just going to modify the project. So how I'll modify this project? Which options I should click? I want to modify
Configure.
the project. Yes. So I have to just configure it. Okay. Once I just do the configurations, I need to set up the container where we want to delete or deploy the or delivery the product. Okay. So if you go directly here, source code management, build trigger, build environment, and build. After build, what we need the post build actions. So in the post build actions, we have only one action, which is archiving the artifacts. So the next action, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do uh, deploy var or here to a container. So what I can do here, so what is the var file? It should be star star plus star dot var file, and the context path I told you just ignore this, and the container. So I have installed Tomcat 7. Okay, Tomcat 7 version. So I should choose Tomcat 7.x. Okay, 7x. Now what happens? It will ask for the credentials to login. Okay, so it will ask for the credentials to login. So what is the credentials? So you remember where to set up this credential, Tomcat and the secret, right? So if you go to the Tomcat server conf folder, right? Cd conf, and here where we have to change the user tomcat hyphen users.xml. Okay, so I'm just
That
going to
excellent.
edit this sudo vi tomcat.xml. Sorry. So if I go entirely down, we have some roles here. Okay, and in these roles we have given this tomcat role is given, which is tomcat, and the password is this one. So I have
Secret.
same things I have set up here in the credential directories, tomcat and all. Okay, so here in the Jenkins, you know how to do that, right? So let me select this tomcat folder, and the tomcat URL. The tomcat URL you have to give it here. So what is the tomcat URL? The tomcat URL will be your DNS name with your IP address. Okay, this will be your. So here DNS name, what we are using, we instead of DNS name or domain name, we are using the IP address, right? This is what our
IP address.
tomcat URL. Okay, so now if you select it here, see now it automatically successfully connected this server. Now what we can do, we can simply save it. Okay, simply save it. Now what happened? What we did, again if you configure it, we'll see we had done the PollSCM, right? The PollSCM, what we had done, we had given, okay, PollSCM, we have not set up anything. So build trigger, let's do the PollSCM star 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 5 stars. That means periodically every 1 minute. Okay, every 1 minute it will
Okay.
scan the repositories. Now let me save it. Build trigger also I did it. So what will happen as soon as I do the PollSCM, what will do, it will just scan the last build was success, last build project, it will check whether the last build was successful and it has run from the latest repository. If the latest repository has already run, it will scan it and it find it has already run, then it will not again run the build. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do some changes to the project. Okay, so what I have to do, I have to get it from the GitHub page, the project URL. Okay, so what is the project? It will be, oops, sorry. So I'm going to get it as DevOps Web. Okay, so this is the repository which I'm going to work on. Copy this, go to your so this is suppose my environment. I need to locally, I have to modify it. Okay, locally in my desktop I am going to modify this. Suppose let me go to my desktop folder, and here let me first clone it. Okay, so the git command, git clone, I just cloned it here.
Mhm.
Okay, as soon as I clone it here, I have to go to the directory. So the project directory will be DevOps Web. Okay, so let me go DevOps Web, and here if I do git branch, it will show you master. Okay, so I'm in the master branch now. What I'm going to
That's
do
right.
in this master branch, I'm going to update the project. Okay, so let me just update something. Let's go to the source directory, cd source src, and here I'm going to modify the project file. So cd web. Okay, so here's something I'm just going to modify, or else what I can do, the easiest way to do that, suppose let me open my VS Code, the editor. Okay, you should use any editor to edit it, because using going to the folder and checking which file to update, it will be a difficult task. Okay, so what I'm going to
Definitely.
do, just going to open recent okay, open. So that DevOps Wave, this folder I'm going to work on this project. Okay, so which file I have to update, go to the source file, web app, and here let me just check what I need to update in this hello world.xml. There is no message, so I have to use index.jsp and mostly template. Okay, so suppose DevOps class and version suppose 1.3, and just an example. So what I can do here, I can just add today's date here. Today's date is
Ranjit, I think Bablu slept.
uh,
Bablu,
uh,
he,
But
he's not there.
no, no, here.
Okay,
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 so guys, here
okay.
actually I'm doing some development
Okay.
part which you don't have to do it. Okay, this is a
Uh,
development part. Suppose this part is the developer who is updating the code. Okay, this is not your duty. Don't get like confused, or don't get
yeah,
no, overthinking, like we have to do write
scared.
detailed scare. Yeah, we have to write the code or anything. No, this is the part of the developer. I'm showing how the developer works actually. So once the developer update this code, okay, let me save it. I updated the code. What I'm going to do, I'm going to, so what happens now, developer updated the code, and what he has to do, he has to push the code into the repositories. So now what I have to do here, if you just go back to the project directory. Okay, and what is the command to check the difference or status for git?
Git status
Yes. So we have to do git status. So if you see here git status, we can see one file is modified. What I recently modified
modified.
using my tool, right? The developer modified. Now what I have to, developer has to commit and push this one to the remote repositories. So what he has to do, first he has to add this one, git add, then git commit. Okay,
Right.
Mm,
That's it.
Test
Meetings.
update.
yeah, anything date added, anything meaningful you should give. So I committed it now. Okay, if I do git status, everything will say now it's okay. Okay, sorry, git status. So it say everything is okay on the branch. Okay, branch working tree is clean. So what I have to do now? I have to just push this one to the remote repository. So what is the command? The command is git push origin master. So git push origin master. Okay, so let's do that. All my codes are now updated. If I go here and just refresh this page, you can see recently 43 seconds ago the remote repository is, and meanwhile if I go to this project, just check and you will see one build will start automatically over here. Okay, just wait for seconds, because 1 minute interval it will scan it. Okay,
Polling.
and yeah,
Polling. Yeah.
it will poll it. As soon as I push the code, it will scan the after 1 minute it will scan the code, it and it will find like there is some changes. Then it what it will do, it will pull that code and try to build it. Okay, just to see, you can see guys here, right? It's automatic. I didn't do
Started.
anything, right? It automatically started. See, the build is starting now. So 1 minute automatically it polled the jobs and it started building it. Okay, just wait for a few seconds, it will do that work. If it fails, we'll see why it fails and all. Okay, if it okay, that's good. So it is success actually, so you can see here, so we can see the success logs. Okay, click the build and you can go to the console outputs.
Under the failure, there can we see means and like a button came, na? So there it will show any fail, red color or something,
Yes, yes, yes.
or only through console. Like.
No, it will through the red color. I'll the next job I'll
Uh,
make it fail and we'll see it. Okay.
we'll do that way.
Yeah.
Intentionally we'll do.
Yes, yes.
Uh,
Now we can see here the build is success. Okay, so if you go here, the build is success. After the build, what happens? It artifacts the post deployment, right? The post deployment section, it what it did, it archived the artifacts. After that, what happens? It deployed this war file to the container tomcat 7 is. So what it says, context, var is not deployed, doing a fresh deployment, deploying this var. Okay, fine. So now what I'm going to do, just go to the tomcat server. Here it was not there, right? Now let's refresh it. If it is deployed successfully, it the see the project is deployed
mhm.
successfully. Now I can see our application is now running. Okay, it's easily running, it's working. Now let me do the same things, but this time I'll do a different polling mechanism. So here first, see guys, whatever I'm giving you the real time, and based on your requirement you have to do it. I'm giving you multiple ways how you have to do it. Even manually you can build it. Okay, even manually you can build it. If you don't want to if you want to see it how it works, simply go here and just do the build now and it will work. Let me do small changes to that, and I'll just make it fail. As Tapan Bhai said, right, we need to see how it works. So suppose I just want to change something, I'll just give uh, here, suppose I give a wrong server. Okay, instead of 79 I give 78, suppose. Let me save it and build now. Okay, I saved it, but here what happens,
Uh-huh.
as we have given PollSCM, it will not poll it because the repository is fresh, it has no updated, nothing changed. So what we have to
Uh-huh.
do, we have to build now. We'll trigger the build
Build now.
manually. Okay, now we can see here the build number 3 is running. Okay, just wait.
Hmm.
So in the last deploy stage it will fail. Okay,
Hmm.
Okay, so if you want to see the running logs, we can just click on this blinking button, right? You can just click it here,
Blinking button. Okay.
and you can see here, everything is done. It's still blinking, and here build is success. However, it is trying to connect the server. The server itself does not exist. What will happen? It will just give the timeout error. Okay, so it will fail with the timeout.
Time out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then got it.
Guys, just 1 minute. Okay, I'm just coming back. There is some work. 1 second.
Sure. Uh, Pablo,
Yes. Yes, boss.
boss. ଇଏ ପୁଅ ଶୋଇପଡିଛି ନା କଣ?
ନା ନା ସେପଟେ ଅଛି।
ଆଉ ସିଏ କଣ ଯୋଉ କ୍ଲାଉଡ ସାରିଦେଲା ଡେଭଅପ୍ସ ଜଏନ୍ କରିବେନି କି?
ଡେଭଅପ୍ସ ଟା ତ କରଉନି। ଆଗରୁ କଣ ଶୋଇ ପଡିଥିଲା ଚୁପଚାପ ବସିକି ଦେଖୁଥିଲା। ଏବେ ପୁରା ଉତ୍ପାତ ହଉଛି। ସେ ମତେ ବି କରେଇ ଦବନି ଡେଭଅପ୍ସ।
ପ୍ରାଇମେରୀ ଇଏମ ଟା ବି ହବନି।
ହଁ ପିଙ୍ଗଳା ପିଙ୍ଗଳି କରୁଛି ପୁରା।
ଟାଇମ ଆଉଟ ଫେଲର। ବବଲୁ ମନ୍ଦିର ଖୋଲିବ ବା 16 ତାରିଖରେ, ଯିବନି କି ଜଗା ଦର୍ଶନରେ?
ହଁ ହଁ ଖୋଲିଲେ ଯିବା। ଟିକେ ଇଏ କର ଏଠି କେସ୍ ବଢି ବଢି ଚାଲିଛି।
ହଁ, ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱରରେ କଣ ଏମିତି ବଢୁଛି? ତମେ ରହିଛ ବୋଲି ବଢୁଛି ନା କଣ?
ଏଇ ପରିବେଶ ଭଳିଆ କେତେଟା ପିଲା ପାଇଁ ବଢୁଛି। କିଛି ମାନୁନି ବୁଲାବୁଲି।
କଣ ପରିବେଶ?
Yeah, sorry guys. Okay, so we can see, yeah, we can see here it is failed. Okay, so and if you go here, the project, and you can see,
time out.
yeah, so see, it color changed. It is failed,
Yes,
red color. Okay, so again, if you just click this, go to dashboard, and also you will see find here this project has a big red color, and if you keep your cursor over here, and it will say failed. Okay, now what I'm going to do here, just let me rectify that, and I'll show you in a different way how fully automatically the build will start. Last time we saw the PollSCM, like, or 1 minute has to wait, or some particular scheduled time. If you want to run your build, you can do that using the PollSCM. That you may get a questions like, if you want to build at particular time, which option you should choose to build your job in Jenkins. So you can say PollSCM. Okay, the other one is, which is very frequently used by,
So, sorry, Ranjit.
yes,
PollSCM, it's like we can set for the particular time also,
yes, only
because
particular
it's
time.
like polling for 1 minute.
Yeah, yes, you
No, but
can.
if I want to midnight or something, or some time, let PM within this 1 to 2 a.m. Let
Yeah, yeah, you can do, see particular. That is why what
we can do.
if you see, yes, we can do it. So let me,
Or maybe I know. Okay, no.
no, we can do particular time only, because it best works on the time only. This time, this suppose particular day, particular month, and particular time, if you want to run, you can do that. Okay, so
Oh, okay.
if you just click this, and you can see um, particular time, suppose every 15 minutes at suppose 10:15, if you want to run every 15 minutes it's run. Suppose what it says, once in every 2 hour slot between 8 a.m 4 p.m every day, every weekday. Suppose 9:38 you want to run, 11:38 a.m you want to run. So once a day at that 15th month, like that you can set up at particular 150,
Okay, we can set up. Yeah.
yeah, or 130, like that you can do. Okay, so
Okay, got it. Thanks.
okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you one thing which is called GitHub hook trigger. This is very important because when the developer did some changes and pushed the code to the repositories, he has not to wait the build to start. As soon as he pushes the code to the repository, remote repository, the build will be automatically triggered. So how it will be automatically triggered? By the GitHub webhook. Okay, so how we'll do the GitHub webhooks setup? This is an interview questions and you should know
Mm-hmm.
all this. Okay, now before that, what I'm going to do, I'm just setting up GitHub hook, and let me remove this. Okay, now I did set up GitHub hook triggered for git scm polling. Let me save this. Okay, I saved the project. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to set up the webhook. Webhook for which repository, which project we are working on. So how you'll do it? If we just click on the, just go to the repository. Suppose I'm in DevOps Web. Go to your settings. Okay, in your settings you can find it here, one webhooks. One option is there, webhooks, right? Just click on this,
Uh-huh.
and here you can find the link. You can, I already have in my last classes I was showing the demo. You can just, if you it has already, you can just use it, or you can click on add webhook. Okay, you can click on add webhook, it will add it. So let me edit whatever it is. So once you click on add webhook, it will look like this. Okay, so it will ask the password. Okay, now once you add webhook, it will give you the payload URL. So what is this payload URL? The payload URL is nothing but your Jenkins URL. Your Jenkins URL. So what is our Jenkins URL? So you have to give our IP address, suppose this one, or any Jenkins URL, whatever Jenkins URL, you will have a different URL domain name, right? That domain name you have to just come here and do the setups. Suppose let me set up here, and remember this is the Jenkins URL. If you go here, I can see this is 0.93, this is my Jenkins server. So Jenkins server details you have to give it here. After that, what we have to do, okay, here is something wrong, right? It's 0. Okay, now the content type application a JSON format, that's fine. Which event would you like to trigger this webhook? Just the push event. So I want only when the developer push the code to the remote repositories, the event will be triggered. If you want for send me everything, any changes, anything added, anything happened to the repository, it will trigger a build. But that is not the way we have to do it. So we want the just the push event, and will deliver event details when this hook is triggered. That's good. Now we have to update webhook. Okay, just update webhook. Now my webhook is updated. So you can also let's see, you can see the deliveries, recent deliveries, the logs. Okay, here you can see the last time it was sent 5 today, right? And if you just click in failed to connect, so it failed to connect the server. If you click this one, and you'll find lots of log details why it is failed. Now okay, let me do another delivery. So anyway, the first thing, a first time it is just failed it. So what we are going to do next time, let's do a small changes and see whether our webhook is getting triggered or not. So for that, what we have to do, so let's do some changes. I can give here just an example. I'm just modifying, the developer is modifying the code here. So just an example, I can say webhook, web webhook. Okay, example of webhook. Okay, now let me save this, and I have to push the code. Okay, similarly what I have to do, I'm not doing git status, so I'm simply adding the into staging area, then committing it, git commit -m, webhook example. Then let me push it, git push origin master. It is pushed now. Okay, now let's
Yeah.
check here. See, automatically build. I did not do anything, right? See, build number 4 is running now.
Yeah, it started.
It started automatically. So it will just see it is now success. And if I refresh this page,
Success.
okay, if I refresh this page, so wait, it is just doing the deployment. Still, it is not working. Anyway, saved view state could be found for this. There is some problem with. Okay, go for.
Here also we should have lots of patience, no, Ranjan?
Yeah, yeah, because
Work
this will take even days of time. Not immediately you have to set
days
up.
of time.
While setting up the project,
Yeah.
it will take days of time. Okay, now
Ah,
here it is actually running. Let me do some other changes to that project. Suppose 15 week and this example, just an example. Very good. Okay, so okay, it is not running properly. Okay, let me add the webhook here itself. Webhook, okay, same thing. Git add git commit hyphen.
comment.
Just anything I'm giving. Okay, git push origin master. Okay. So as soon as developer push this code, and we can go here and see our as soon as the developer push the code, it automatically started. That is what
Settle.
the webhook and GitHub hook. You can say git hook or webhook. Automatically it triggered the event, and if when it found any changes to the repositories. Okay, so now you learned how to set up the webhooks in the GitHub project so that it will automatically trigger one event. So if you want to see the logs, just go to the recent deliveries and you'll find it how many. See, you can find it how many triggers have been happened. So the trigger number, event number, everything. And if you want to see more details about that, you can just click on this and you'll find the details about here. And if you want to responses, you can see here the headers responses is actually sent. 200 is actually sent successfully. Okay, now all the details informations you can find in the JSON format below.
For Ranjan,
Yeah,
header response means actually I could not get it.
the response means actually the response got from the Jenkins server. So when there is a failure, you will get suppose 404 or some kind of error, right? 403.
Okay, okay.
But in
Okay, okay.
delivery method, it is 200 post method actually.
200, okay.
The success code is 200. Okay, 200 means it is
Mm-hmm.
success. Okay, now
Success, okay, got it.
yeah, so our project is okay, still building. Okay, now it is success. If you see here, the build 5 is success. If I refresh the project, it is throwing some kind of error. Let me just close this and see, it is updated to webhook. Okay, so new project, so it
Mm.
automatically delivered to the staging environment.
Yeah, yeah. ମାଉସୀ ଠାକୁର ପୂଜା କରୁଛନ୍ତି ନାଇଁ କି?
ଜଷ୍ଟ ମୁଁ ବାଲକୋନିରେ ବସିନା ଜଷ୍ଟ ବ୍ୟାକ୍ ସାଇଡ୍ ହେଲା ଠାକୁର ଘର ବହୁତ ତାର ଶଙ୍ଖ ଫୁଙ୍କୁଛି।
ହଁ ହଉ ଶଙ୍ଖ ବାଜୁ ସେଥିରେ କଣ ଅଛି? ହଁ.
Okay, okay, guys. So sorry for that. So we can see here our build is success and it deployed the application successfully. So this is how you have to set off the Jenkins job. That is what we learned so far. We learned how to set up the Jenkins jobs by creating a freestyle job. The another important things I'm going to tell you guys, that is called the downstream and upstream project. That is what you need when a build is done and you want to execute another project. That means once the first build or first project is completed successfully, you have to trigger another job. So how you'll do that setups? Suppose I want the MB Java project. This is the project which want to build first, and after that we want once the build this job is success, we have to trigger another job to do the another set of work. So what is that, how we can achieve that? Simply we can just let me just go here, configure it. Okay, and you will
So
find,
Ranjit, here multiple projects, no?
yeah, multiple projects. If you are going to build another
Mm-hmm.
project success of this one, suppose your another project is dependent on the output of the this project.
Okay, okay, okay.
Got it? Suppose whatever applications or whatever the build end product maybe will be required for the other project to be built.
Other
So
project to
first you have
start.
to, yeah, so first you have to start this one and then you have to start that. Okay, so what I'm going to here in this build trigger, right? Source code management, we don't have to do anything, just build trigger. So in the build trigger, you can see here.
Real time
Sorry,
it will be there.
sorry.
Real time scenario will be there, no?
Yes,
Means
yes. Real time scenario, we have to do it.
okay. Means we'll face also. Yeah,
Yes,
that is
exactly.
okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank
Now, in the build sections, okay. So build sections, we have the build, right? So if you click it here, what it says. Sorry, it should not be in the build section, it should be in the post build section. So here what we did, we deployed the project into the uh, test environment, right? So let me add in this post build sections, right? You can find one options called one second. Okay, build other projects. You can see here, build other projects. So what you can do, select this build other projects.
you. Yeah, right.
Now what say, no project specified, that means we don't have projects to build it. Before selecting this, what we need to create the project which wants to be built. Okay, suppose I don't want to do the deploy in this part. Okay, in this part I don't want to deploy. Let me delete this deployment part here. What happens, I only did the archive artifacts in this post build actions. Okay, so let me do one more project. Go here, new item. I can just give MB. Suppose Java project. I can see.
So Ranjit, you deleted there because that is the last stage for that only. Because deployment is the last stage,
Deployment is the
so
last.
it cannot move to next project. Means if a chain of execution. So for
No,
that only you deleted or any other reason?
no. I am just going to show you. I just now created two projects. One project which will build only specifically build our application. The other project what I am going to publish it, means delivery it. So what I did, I
Okay,
created
okay.
one project will build alone to
Okay.
build. The other project will only publish it, only deliver it.
Publish. Okay, okay.
Okay.
Means okay, okay. Because deployment part you are doing it here in another project.
Exactly, another project. Okay, so that's why what I did, I
Okay,
gave
got
a
it.
project name as MB Java project deploy staging. Okay, just gave a name. So the freestyle job and just okay. But what we have to do it here, just give a descriptions, deploy into staging. Okay, so what we have to do here, we don't need any source code management because we are not going to work. This is only for publishing. Okay, and the build trigger also we don't have to trigger any build. This is not going to build anything. And similarly, no build environment, also no build part. What we have to do setups, only build post build actions, right? So what is the post build actions? We want to deploy the code, so that deployment part I'm going to add it here. Okay, let's add to
Mhm.
deploy var and here container. So I'm going to star slash star dot var. Okay, and the container 7 credentials I gave it here, and the server, that is the server name. Now sell let me save it. Okay, so save it. Now what happened, I created another project. So two projects we have now. One is MB Java project, and the downstream project, suppose I want to keep the deploy part. Okay, so what I'm going to do in the main upstream job, that is called upstream and downstream job setup, upstream and downstream job setups. So let me just go here. Now I'm going to just click on the configure part. Okay, so as soon as I click the configure part, if you go here, the post build actions, right? I'm going to build other projects. Select it. Here it says
Mhm.
no project specified, right? uh
Mhm.
why the project is not coming here? Okay, so no projects, that is fine. So the project name is MB. Okay, so as soon as you type the project name, it gives the details. So I want to build this project. Okay, select this
Uh-huh.
project. No such project MB. Okay, fine. Okay, so automatically it took MB Java project deploy staging. So this is the project which I want to build. After the this build is success and this post build is success, then it will build other projects. Now if I just save it, okay, now I saved it. If I go to the, you can see here in this project, see, it now gives one downstream projects. That means this is the upstream job. This project is our upstream job, and it has one downstream project, that is called this one.
Downstream.
If I
Okay.
click this project, you'll find it has one upstream project. It has one upstream project. This is the project name.
Mhm.
Okay, now what I'm going to do,
Mhm.
I'm not doing anything. Okay, I'm not doing anything now. So everything is now the setups. So let's developer do something like, I'll just give a message like upstream downstream demo. I'll just give an example here. Upstream downstream demo. So let's save this. Same thing we have to git add and commit push, add commit push. So let's go and check here. If I go this MB project, and it will be now automatically triggered. So see, our build number 6 is now running. Okay,
Mhm.
build number 6 is now running. Let it complete. And once you see here it is success, what will happen, the downstream will be automatically triggered. So now it is in active state, right? If you see it here, it will also start
Mhm.
running. Okay, if I click this downstream job, it
Uh-huh.
also see the build, it is already built and failed. It is failed. Our upstream job,
Failed.
yeah, our upstream, if I go our upstream job, our upstream job is success. That means it build and archive the artifact, it is success. Okay, after that, triggering a new build of the project name, it gives the output also. So now if I go and check the logs of that, let's go and check the log why it is failed. Failure. So what it says, Build in progress. Deploy what to a container aborted due to exceptions.
Exception.
Okay. So due to some exception, it did not work. That means no words found. Okay, what it says? No words found. Okay.
War file didn't find.
Yeah, it did not find any war file. So what I'm going
Mhm.
to do it here. Okay, now this is a question for you guys. For this, what did you understand? Why it is failed? Why it says no war file found? If you can tell, then I'll at least understand you now know uh, how this project works actually.
Mhm.
Can you tell anybody?
So is it maybe we are cleaning up the that one after it is deployed, no?
Hmm.
So you are cleaning so that it's not finding.
No. Anything
Mhm.
else?
Permission,
Sorry.
permission of the file.
Could you repeat the permission something you told or?
Permissions. No, no, no,
Yes,
no,
yes.
no, 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 no.
Uh-huh.
It says the clearly says, right, no wars found means no war file found. The error is no
Uh,
war file found. But why?
It is not built. It
Sorry.
is not built,
no,
so no work file generated.
Okay.
no, but build it showed not successful. The first the upstream it is successful, no? So Ranjit, is it the path we need to give?
Exactly. So the thing is,
Uh-huh.
the first
Mm-hmm.
build, if you see, as I told, right, I showed you the workspace, right? If I go to the workspace of this project, you will find every workspace is created based on the project. Okay. Now,
Mm.
this, if you go to the upstream job, you will find the build and the target file in a different path. See, if I go to the project, the var file is generated and kept in var lib Jenkins workspace, and the project name is mb java project and the target folders mb java project and target folder. But
Mm.
in that case, what is it doing? In this case, if you see, it is just displaying the finding the file in the mb java project deploying stage folder, but it is not available. Nothing is built
Mm-hmm.
and no build triggers happened here. Only we're doing the deployment. Okay, that is why it started searching the, it always the remember the always the job searches the file, any available file in the workspace of that project. So workspace of that
Local one.
project is
Mm.
locally this one, and that's why no war file is found. So how we can achieve this? We have to just do the changes to the code, right? So let's configure it. Now what I'm going
So
to
some
do,
SCP we can do, no? Or,
exactly, we can do the SCP way. Okay, so here what
okay.
I'm going to do, instead of doing the post build action in this way, what I can do, I can just trigger one. I'm going to show you in a different way. Okay, I'm going to do 1 second. Okay, as I'm going to build this one, I don't have to add anything post build. So this is a build event. I'm going to put it. So what is the build event? Suppose I'm going to build to execute the cell. Here what I'm going to write, I'm going to write one Unix command. So remember, both way I'm showing you as well as in Unix ways to do and deploying using the container. So this time I'm not going to use any container. I'm using the scp command to
Unix.
Unix command to copy the file. Okay, so let's do
Mm.
that. So what I can do here, scp. Okay, so what is the way to do that? File name is, I can give like uh,
Star war.
no start.var. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but here what I'm going to do, instead of the only start.var, I have to give the entire path. Okay, so what is the entire path of this? So let me get it from the upstream project. Okay, so if I go here, this is the var file, right? Okay, so I can give
What's this? Mm.
target folder, right? Go here, configure changes, put it here. So this is the one I'm going to do star, and then which folder, which one I should use. I can either use root user to deploy the file, okay, or Jenkins. Normally it both working as Jenkins user or root user. Let me try with root at the rate give your.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
We don't have to give anything. Now what I have to do, opt tomcat web apps. So in this folder I'm going to deploy the project. So I just copied using scp unix command, right? Copied, deployed this one to the server. Let's save this one. Saved it. Okay, now to do the testing whether it is running fine or not, what should I do? Because this will be triggered
Mm-hmm.
when the upstream job is success, right?
After,
So but I
yeah, we have to change something file, no?
no, I want to do some small test here, ad hoc test. Now what I have to,
Adult.
I can directly click this build now, right?
Build now. Okay, yeah, build now. Yeah, the means instant. Yeah, we
Exactly.
can override that one.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so individually we can trigger the build. So just click on this, and if there is any issues we can find it out here. So it is immediately failed. It is immediately failed. Let's see why it is failed. See, it says host key verification failed, lost connections. That's that's what I was about to
Yeah.
show you. It's just giving the host key verification because we don't have any key specified between two servers. Okay, now we have two servers, right? One is this Jenkins server and the Tomcat server, but we don't have any connectivity. We don't have any connectivity between these two servers by sharing the keys. Okay, so how we'll
Mm-hmm.
do this connectivity? Actually, this is very important, guys, and you have to do it very frequently while you are doing any setups. Be careful and just listen and just watch how I am doing that one. Okay, first thing what we have to do, just connect to the Jenkins server. Okay, connect to the Jenkins server. So
Upstream server.
upstream server. Anyway, no, you have to no, there is
Mm-hmm.
no upstream server. We have to connect to the Jenkins server.
No, upstream also.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So you have to connect to the Jenkins server. This sent OS at the rate IP address. Now, what I need to do here, just do sudo first become root user. Okay, sudo su. So as soon as you become the root user, you should go to your root directory. Remember what I'm doing, just watch it. So root, I did a root user, and here what I did, went to my root folder of the server. If I do ls-la here, you'll find one .ssh folder. Okay, hidden folder. So you have to just go to this .ssh folder here. Okay, and if you see here, we have one public key. This public key and private key is there. Okay, so what I have to do here, just get this public key. Okay, you see that, get this public key. So this is the public key of this server. Okay, now I got this public key and I have to add this one to the server of the Tomcat. Okay, Tomcat server, the staging server, or any server. Okay, this also you need to do when we are going, will work on the master slave architecture. That time also we have to do this kind of work. So just watch it carefully. Okay, now I just
Mm.
want to connect
Yeah.
to the other server. Other server is the
And deployment.
okay. So I got this IP addresses. Let me connect this server ssh-i. Okay, now same thing I have to do here, sudo su, go to the root folder.
Mm.
Similarly, I have to go to .ssh here also. Okay, and you can see here I am into root.ssh folder. So here you can
RSS.
find one authorized keys folder, right? One authorized key file, not folder, authorized keys. So what I have to do now, just get the public key of the Jenkins server. Okay, root folder. Okay, copy this and just paste into the authorized file of this Tomcat server. Okay, so I'm just going to authorized key. Now let me paste it. Okay, now save it. So what I did, I saved the public key of the Jenkins server into the Tomcat server. Okay, so let me connect from Jenkins server to this server, this Tomcat server. Okay, how I'll do it? Simply, if I do, uh, if I do here SSH, okay, root at the rate. I'm not sharing anything. I'm not giving any password. I'm not giving any key files. I'm not giving anything. I just simply have to type from Jenkins server SSH to our Tomcat server, right? So the
Tomcat server. Mm.
just get the IP address of your Tomcat server. Just put it here. Yes, first time it will ask the fingerprint. Good. Now see, we can able to success
And
without
deployment.
any user ID or
Mm.
password or anything, right? We are successfully connect. Now
Connected.
exit it from, you know how to set up this connectivity between from one server to another server, from one Linux server to another Linux server without using any user ID and password. That is, this is called key based authentication. Key based authentication, this is Unix term. And you are going to, if in DevOps here, you are going to do all kind of setups, not only in this Jenkins, also in Ansible, in Docker, Kubernetes, also in Terraform, everything where you are going to do that setups. Because when you are working on multiple servers, you should always get this connectivity so that every servers can talk each other whenever based on your requirement, talk each other without using user ID and passwords. That is called key based authentications. Okay, now if I go here and just build the project again manually, if everything goes well, then it will just deploy, it will just build it. Okay, deploy it. Just now build now. Let's see what is happening this time. Yeah, good. See, now we can see it is success, right? So if I click this output,
Access. Yeah.
you can see here it is copied the project successfully to our Tomcat server by using this SCP command. So if I go here and just refresh it, right? See, we can see upstream downstream demo. Let
Stream
me
demo.
do the complete setup now. So I'm not going to touch anything now. Let me just do some changes here. Up to down demo. I'm just going to add two here. I added two small changes. I did it. So let come out from this server and go to my,
It will trigger
yeah, go to, so go to my desktop here, cd, and here, okay, sorry, I don't have to do it here anything. I updated it here. So git add git commit hyphen m, uh, it's anything you can add it.
just minor change.
Git push or is
Yes. Hariban. Yes. Master.
okay. Now let's go to the project here. Upstream, I have to go to the upstream project. Okay, so MB Java project. So build is started automatically. Okay, the build number 7. Okay, so as soon as it
Hmm.
completes, it will trigger the downstream job. Okay, now
Hmm.
I'm not checking anything. I'm just waiting the jobs to complete. Once it is complete, I can refresh the application, and the application you can see it will automatically have changed. Okay, now let me refresh this application. I just checked the upstream job. If I see the downstream also, it will have success. See, build number 4 is now success. If I refresh this application, see demo 2. Now we can see how the continuous development, continuous build, and continuous delivery happens. We saw all three in
Yes.
one
Yes.
project. Continuous build,
One.
the developer is doing now continuous develop. Now the DevOps engineer's role is done. He has done all kind of setups for the company and for the project. Now my work is done. My duty is finished. Now onwards, whenever there is some changes or something is going to be done, developer has to only do some code changes and push into the repository, remote repository. After that, automatically it will build everything and it will save
Everything.
to the testing environment or staging environment for QA or for testing.
Hmm.
Now we are clear, right? We saw how it works.
Hmm.
So in our next class, I'll show you how to set off the pipelines jobs or
Multiple
uh,
pipeline. Okay.
pipeline jobs. The next one I'll show you the pipeline, and then next I'll show you multi-branch. Okay, I have to anyway. This
Multiple.
Saturday, Sunday, we'll try to finish this one, these things, everything. We'll see the pipelines, and the pipelines I'll show you to write in pipeline. One class it will be finished. Next, we have to set up the
Hmm.
master slave architecture, which is very important. Master slave architecture. So if you see here in this Jenkins, I have only one build queue and build executor, that is the master itself. Okay, but I don't have any agent or slaves running to build. We'll see what is this master and slave architecture, and we'll see how we can do this notification setups, also email setups and everything in our next classes. So Saturday's class, first thing we'll focus on the pipeline, and then we'll focus on the master and slave
Master
architecture.
slave. Hmm.
And the next classes will focus on the Sunday, we'll work on the multi-branch pipeline project, and then
Multi-branch.
next
Hmm.
we'll talk about some notifications, email setups, and all these. Okay, and then we'll do a final project using the artifact. Still we have not used any artifactory to store our artifacts. The artifacts whatever we did so far is just deployed to the server, but in our
Hmm.
project we have to store the war file or that to an artifactory. So here we are going to use the artifactory as our AWS S3 bucket. We'll see how we'll store this
Oh,
into
S3
our
bucket.
S3
Hmm.
bucket. Okay.
Hmm.
Also, the entire that will be our final project to do with it in Jenkins. After that, what are the small projects and things are there, I'll just tell you and guide you, and you are ready for the interview to face. Okay, after Sunday you will be at least ready for, but before that at least you have to do 3 4 projects by yourself, otherwise you cannot answer the
Yeah.
questions.
Otherwise, you cannot answer actually.
Yeah, because you will, because see, this is how you see, while setting up this we found lots of errors, right? While setting up this downstream job
Mm-hmm.
we found lots of errors. So we see, you have to fix it, right? That will take, suppose this is small things and we easily find it out. If you are working a big projects, you'll see lots of errors, lots of things. You have to keep patience and do it. Sometimes it takes weeks of time to do the entire setups. Okay, so guys,
Oh, weeks of time also. Yeah. Okay.
it takes weeks of time to do the setup. If you're a big enterprise project you are working, the entire you have to do it. It's a simply project. I'm just set the example project. I'm showing you creating the freestyle. But when you write the pipeline, there will be lots of other things. I'll show you in the pipelines when you are doing your fully automated pipeline project. That is what the real-time company
Mm-hmm.
works. So when you go for the
Mm-hmm.
freestyle, when you are going to do some ad hoc jobs, some ad hoc work, immediate work, you don't have to spend more time on the automations. That time you can set up the
Mm-hmm.
freestyle job and do the job of, done immediately. But when you go for the pipelines, when you want the repeated tasks to be automated fully, that time you can write your pipelines. The pipelines you can write in a different languages, different templates. I'll show you how you can write your own pipelines. That's also very important. Okay.